Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jack. This is JTH Books. The hands go like this every time. Your boy gets nervous. What can I say? Do you like my t-shirt? Ask me about my obsession with Jisoo. Ask me. It's real. It's there. It's not going away. She's on my clock over there. I said clock. She's on my clock over there. So it's April wrap-up time. I had a really good reading month in April. I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't watch TV. Well, I have been watching The King's Affection, a Korean drama. If anyone's seen it, let me know. I've got about 4 episodes left. And I'm in love. I'm in love. The main dude. So yeah, I read 14 books. That is the most I've ever read in a month. Ever. 3 were graphic novels. 3 are graphic novels. I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to know which ones. But they count, and I love them. So, without further ado, let's just get talking about them, shall we? So first up, I read The Dance Tree by Kieran Millward Hargrave. I did that last time. This was kindly sent to me by Book Break UK. They have a YouTube channel. I think it's Drinking by My Shelf. I'll link it down below. I loved this. I think, spoiler, I think this might be on my favourite books of the year list because I actually genuinely loved it. It's set in 1518 and it's about Lisbeth, who lives on the, I guess a farm with her husband, and they look after bees, and the church at the time is saying your bees use flowers, so the bees actually are. So the husband goes away to fight for him, and his sister comes back from being on a mountain, but in a church thing. She's repenting for, well, I won't spoil it. And but also at the same time, there's these this woman starts dancing in the square, and she doesn't stop. She only stops like for an hour to sleep, then comes back, and all these women start dancing. It's sort of all based around that, and it turns out it's true. It's a true story. Not the characters bit, but the dancing bit, where all these women, people don't know if it was mass hysteria or something to do with religion. They don't know what it was, and these women literally died on this stage dancing. And throughout this, it's got like the main story, but then it's got little chapters of sort of some of the women that are dancing. You sort of know how they got there or why they're there, and I think that just pushed this book to be fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It is out somewhere, of course, the 12th of May. It is queer, and I think if you love historical fiction, you should pick this up. I absolutely loved this book. Next up was Time is a Mother by Ocean Vuong, which is a poetry book that came out on April 7th. Again, sent to me from Jonathan Cape. There are some beautiful, someone I know is just reading this and they're loving it. There are some beautiful poems in this. It's just about his life. It's about the loss of his mother and just everything, really. I find it really hard to talk about poetry because it's hard to recommend poetry because you either feel it or you don't. I know that's the same with everything, but you either you just feel it or you don't. So if you look at poetry that deals with queerness and grief, I would definitely check this one out. If you loved what's this book called? Someone tell me. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, you'll love this. The first graphic novel, Heartstopper Volume 2. You knew this was coming. We all knew this was coming. The show came on, was it April 22nd? I finished it. I loved it. Tell me you loved it. Did you? Let me know. It's just continuing Nick and Charlie's story, and meeting more friends, and then sort of gradually falling in love, and it's brilliant. Made me cry. We're back. The crying's back. This did make me cry. It's just brilliant. It's just so, it deals with difficult things, but it's so heartfelt and honest and sweet. It's sweet. It's, you know, it's what queer people my age didn't have when we were this age, and we need it. and the kids today need it. So next up was Eat, Gay, Love by Calum McSwiggan, which was my non-fiction for the month. And this is about Calum, who breaks up with his boyfriend, and then he decides to sort of go travelling on his own. And it's really interesting to read about what it's like to travel as alone, as a queer person, as a, well, cis-het white male, so, you know. But, yeah, it deals with, you know, he's a teacher in Italy, teaching English, or he goes to a sex club in Berlin, I think it is, and he goes to India. Yeah, it's really interesting. I will say everyone who meets him in this book tells me he's pretty. But to be fair, if I wrote a book and everyone told me I was pretty, I'd have included it in the book too, so people knew. So, yeah. So I really enjoyed my non-fiction for this month. Next up was An Olive Grove and Ends by Moses McKenzie. This came out April 28th. This was kindly sent to me by the publishers. This was a grower. I didn't, at first I wasn't sure if I was into it, or if I was going to like it, or if I wanted to even stop it. But it definitely grew on me. It's about, set in Bristol. And it's just about this boy and his cousin who sort of get involved in the local gang, and he murders, the main character murders someone, and then his girlfriend's father sees, and he moves in with them to try and sort of restart his life. Not start his life, the dad's like, I will tell your girlfriend. I will tell my daughter if you don't move in, come to the church. And it is really interesting. It's difficult to read sometimes. But by the end, I was really into it. I think I give it like, I didn't say what I gave any of them. It doesn't matter. Maybe about a 4-star. It really does get good. Look. It really does. Oh. I read a lot of books and I'm struggling to remember what they're about. Did I read too many this month? Is that possible? Maybe it is, because I can't remember any of these about. Right, next up, Heartstopper Volume 3 by Alice Oseman. Again, knocked it out of the park. I don't know why I just did that. I can't remember if it's a book. They went to Paris in this. Was this? Yeah, no, I just loved it. I love these. I didn't get that. I didn't, you know, I thought they might be overhyped for a while, but they're not. They're just not. I love them. I absolutely love them. Next up, we have All the Lovers in the Night by Mieko Kawakami. This is out May 12th. This was kindly sent to me by Picador. And I loved this book. It's one of the few I have read this month that isn't actually queer, but I loved it. It was so intimate and quiet, and you really got to know the main character. And she sort of there were little points in it when I felt like maybe the author was using another character just to get their points across. It felt a little bit like I was not being taught a lesson, but, you know, saying like, this is how I feel, you everyone listen. But the rest of it, and how she the main character sort of falls in love with this man, and she just does it so quietly and sweetly and deeply. And I just, you know, it's the kind of book where not much happens, but the characters really stay with you. I loved Heaven by this author as well. I've still got to read Breasts and Eggs. I'm looked up there because I can say it. So yeah, I'm trying to read more East Asian translated fiction. Well, I keep buying it, but I'm not reading it. But I want to read it. I'm going to London on Saturday. I'm going to London Saturday, and there is going to be a weekend reading vlog. I've decided to do it. I'm going to show you the bookshops. I'm going to show you what I'm reading. I'm going to try. If it doesn't happen, ignore that. So yeah, I'm going to buy more East Asian fiction when I go. So next up, we have Sedating Elaine by Dawn Winter. In my queer book haul, I'll link it down below. No, not my queer book haul, my every queer book on my TBR. I discovered what this was about. I'll insert the clip now where I literally realised while I'm filming what it's about. Ready? An exuberant dark comedy about love, grief, sex, guilt, and one woman's harebrained scheme to tranquilise her vicariously amorous girlfriend for a few days so that she might pay off her drug dealer, make soup, and finally get some peace and quiet. Should I just read that correctly? Frances fears she may never escape her relationship, so given no other choice, she makes the obvious decision. She will sedate Elaine. And this is what it's about. It's about... Oh, her name's not Elaine. Frances, she wants a bit of peace and quiet. She needs some money to pay off her drug dealer. And so she gets her girlfriend to move in with her, asks for some rent, and then uses it to pay off her drug dealer, or tries. And then, for a bit of peace and quiet, she sedates her girlfriend for the weekend. And I really, I sort of loved this book. It's funny at times. I'm surprised the depth it got, considering the premise. And I just enjoyed it. I didn't think I would because she's pretty nasty, but I really liked Frances as well. If you're looking for a sort of a sapphic book that's sort of darkly comic and intense, and the ending, yeah, maybe it felt a little bit rushed, okay. Or, but, wrapped up a bit sweetly, but yeah, I would definitely recommend this one. I didn't think I'd be sitting here saying that, but I really, really would. So this one's out May 5th, which is some point this week. Thursday? I don't know. Yeah, Thursday. Oh, I've got to change my feet. Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. I might go as far to say this is my favourite, I literally read this one with just tears in my eyes. I could barely see the bloody pages. Trigger warnings for eating disorders. It does get a little bit heavy in this one. And it's just the boys continuing to fall in love and dealing... Oh, don't you just think of Nick and Charlie now from the show? Oh, Nick, I love you. But yeah, everyone knows about this. I don't need to explain it. Next up was The Butterfly Satin by Finn Longman. This was kindly sent to me by Simon & Schuster, Simon YA. And it is out in May. It hasn't got a date, so it's just coming out in May. This features an asexual main character who, this literally says on the back, the most addictive new thrillers since The Hunger Games. And I love The Hunger Games. I absolutely love The Hunger Games. Cat ears. I love The Hunger Games. And, but I get what that means. It feels very, old school YA. It feels like you're going back to The Hunger Games, Diversion. Sort of that era where it's just action. But I did enjoy this. It has, I read it super quickly. It was quite hard to put down. It's about someone whose name I cannot remember, but it's going to come to me when I read the... Isabel, who used to work in sort of, not the fractions, who was a trained assassin and used to help her parents in one of the, not companies, but yeah, I guess a company. And there's another company, they're enemies. But she gets out, she leaves. She's trying to start fresh, going to school. But she gets dragged back in. And it's one of those books that's full of twists and turns. And no one is safe, let me just say that. It did feel a bit like a modernised version of the old school way. But it did feel very old school way. That's not a bad thing. I said it, The Hunger Games means a lot to me. But, yeah, if you're looking for some good old-fashioned YA, that is just... How many times can I say good old-fashioned YA? But, yeah, if you're looking for sort of a young adult thriller, keep you on the edge of the seat, keep the pages turning, I would definitely recommend this. And I think there is another one coming out. I don't know if it's a duology or a trilogy, but I will be reading the next one because I'd like to know what happened after that sort of cliffhanger. Then I was very lucky to receive this from Pan Macmillan, I Kiss Sarah Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. Just a banger, right? Oh, does anyone say banger anymore? I don't know. It's too late, I've said it now. In this, I didn't know much going actually about into this. All I knew was it was sapphic, and you follow. I cannot remember anyone's name. How about that? Her name's Sarah Wheeler, and her name's Chloe Green. You follow Chloe, who gets kissed by Sarah Wheeler, and then she disappears. No one knows where she's gone. So they break. So Chloe breaks into her bedroom, and another boy named Rory breaks into her bedroom at the same time. And then they both find a note from Sarah, and it goes from there. And they find out they have to try and find her and why she's kissed them both. And it was just really enjoyable. And did I like the ending? Yeah, I did like the ending. I know so many people have loved this one. I know it's so highly anticipated, this book. And yeah, really, there's two characters in it. Rory and, please let him be called Smith. I'm going to say Smith. Is his name Smith? He was on like every page and now I can't see him anywhere. Of course. I know it's Smith. I'm going to trust myself. Rory and Smith. Casey, if you're watching this, I know you're not. I would like a story of Rory and Smith. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you. Bit of a spoiler, but no spoilers. Please, please. Thank you. It's out May 12th in the UK. I think it's out May 5th in America. Next up we have Take My Hand by Dolen Perkins-Valdez, which is out May 12th or 5th. Well, we'll never know. It's out in May. This is another great historical fiction I read this month. It's again based on a true story. It's about how these it's actually shocking. The two girls in the story are 13 and 11, but it says in the back that the girls who inspired them were 12 and 14. But they're given. It's about these nurses who sort of work in these poor black communities and to stop underage pregnancies or young girls becoming single mothers in these communities. And they're given these shots to stop them, contraception shots. And one of the girls hasn't even started her period yet. She's 11. And they sort of think it's, these nurses think it's a bit, they start to realise something's not right. And then, the nurse in it, whose name I can't remember. Why have I got such a trouble with names today? His name is Sybil. I knew her name was Sybil. And Sybil sort of befriends them and helps them and looks after them and moves them out. And then the girls disappear one day and they have been taken to the hospital and they have had their tubes tied. So these 12 and 14-year-old girls in real life, 13, 11 in the book, they cannot have children. They're doing this without any of the knowledge. And it's a true story. And, I had no idea things like this happened. And it literally still happens in 2020 in the detention centres in America. It's happening. Women are being illegally and without their consent unable to have babies, and it's crazy. This is such it's a hard book to read because like I said, I had no idea that this happened, and it's hard to read because it's just awful to see these women had their rights taken away and their choices. And it's out May 12th. I don't want to say any more. Read it. You'll learn a lot. You'll love the characters. You really feel for them. And I definitely picked this one up. Second to last, we had Boys Don't Cry by Fiona Scarlett. which was sent to me by Faber Books. It's out in paperback now. Boys don't cry, but this one did. It actually, it came with tissues. It got sent tissues, and I had to use them. This is set sort of from one brother, about two brothers. One brother, Finn, who gets diagnosed with an illness, and you follow him up to his death. And then the next chapter will be his brother Joe. I'm getting better at names. Joe, who you follow on from his brother's death. And I didn't think it was going to get me at first. It took me a little while to get into it. That ending when, oh my God, it is so heartbreaking. Finn, the boy that dies, is such a brilliant character. He's just so sweet and kind, and Fiona just gets it right. It really, it made me cry. I'd be surprised if a book makes me cry more than this year. It was so upsetting. I don't even talk about it. But yeah, this one's out now. If you're looking for a tearjerker, I picked this one up. And last but not least, by any means, was Gay Club by Simon James Green. This was kindly sent to me by Scholastic UK. It is out May 5th. It's a Thursday. Listen, if you've read any Simon James Green before, you're going to love this. If you haven't, what's wrong with you? Get out. Go buy some. Also, can we talk about the cover? Shiny. This book is so, like, it's not very often a book makes me laugh out loud. This one did. Simon James Green can just write such humorous, charismatic characters that you can't help but root for them and want them to succeed. This is about the school's LGBTQ plus society, and they're trying to elect a new president, and they have to give speeches at assembly, and the principal decides to let the whole school vote, not just the people in the club. And then you sort of see the fight out between two members of the club, and then someone else gets it, and it goes on from there. And it's full of twists and turns, and it's about queer friendship and queer love and queer identity and finding yourself. And I think just Simon James Green deserves a bit more cred for the queer YA he's writing, you know. He's knocked it out of the park every time. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this one. I know I've said that about every book, but it was a good reading month for me. There wasn't really one I didn't like, and that never happens, you know. So yeah, out May 5th. So that was it. 14 books. I've never read that much before. I highly doubt I'll read that much again. Like I said, I just cancelled a lot of plans. I didn't want to go out. All I wanted to do was read. I read before I went to bed. I read in the bath. It was heaven. But so yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want. Hit the thumbs up button. Something about a bell. I don't know what that means, but if it works for you, go for it. And I'll speak to you all soon.